Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday to everybody. It's time for Trek on Tuesday. We haven't done one of these in a bit, but today is an exciting day because we are here to talk about the multi-sport merit badge. It is one of the newest merit badges from Scouting America, and we're joined by a couple of volunteers from here in Texas from Troop 848. Please welcome to the show Caroline and Tiffany. They are leaders with Troop 848, like I said, and they just got finished helping their scouts earn the multi-sport merit badge. We're going to talk about their experience, what was challenging about it, what was easy and fun about it. But first of all, welcome to the show today. Caroline, let's start with you. Tell us about Troop 848. What's your role with the troop?
Yes, thank you. I'm the Scoutmaster of Troop 848. We have about 38 girls with our troop. We actually just had our first scout earn her Eagle rank in December, and we're just so proud of her. And it's just been really fun to see all the girls coming together and encouraging each other along the way.
That's awesome. Yeah, relatively new girls troop, which is really, really cool. And congratulations on the first set of Eagle Scouts. Hopefully there will be many, many more to come. Tiffany, you were, I think if I understand, a co-merit badge counselor for the multi-sport merit badge, right?
Correct. Yes, I helped Caroline teach this merit badge to our girls, and I'm one of the ASMs in our troop.
Awesome. So maybe Tiffany, I'll ask you the first question. By the way, shout out to Wendy, who's watching from Elgin, Illinois, Troop 48 and Pack 38. Good to see you, Wendy. Thank you for tuning in. Tiffany, start us off here. Active Scouts BSA troop, a bunch of young women doing scouty stuff. How did the multi-sport merit badge come up for you folks? What prompted the whole thing in the first place?
Actually, Caroline would probably be the better person, excuse me, to answer this, because she is the one who discovered the opportunity and brought it to our troop, and she sought me out. I think she knew that I had done a triathlon in the past. I mean, in the distant past, it had been 17 years almost to the day, so it had been a while. But knowing that I had that prior experience, like she had, she brought it to my attention and asked if I'd be willing to help, and yeah, would love to. Sounds super fun.
So Caroline, chime in here. What made you think that you guys wanted to do this?
Well, our troop is actually sending its first crew to Philmont this summer, 2026, and we were kind of talking about how we're going to prepare and some of the things that we could do to get the skills and the physical fitness ready for our scouts and our leaders to be ready to take on this big task. And so I guess I was driving on my way to Colorado. We were going to Camp Alexander and had some scouts in the car, and we were just kind of talking through things. And one of the things that had come up was just, the opportunity to possibly do some merit badges to help us on our way. So, backpacking merit badge was discussed, talking about, some of the personal fitness, but a lot of our scouts who are going have already done personal fitness. And it's like, well, how about we do this new merit badge that just came out, the Multisport. And, that would kind of give us in our early stages of preparation a goal and something to look forward to as we, prepare our bodies for Philmont. So that's kind of how that came about. And, the scouts were excited about it. Some of them had done, athletics in the past. We had one or two girls that had actually done a triathlon, like a kids triathlon. But it was really new for most of our scouts. And so it was really neat to be able to walk with them through that and share that experience with them.
That's great. And just to set the stage for everybody, to make sure everybody knows, one of the requirements for the multi-sport merit badge is to compete in multi-sports all in the same day. It doesn't have to be an official triathlon, but it can be. And this troop did participate in an actual triathlon. We have the photos to prove that. We're going to show you guys some of that here as we go through. They also did a lot of preparation. This is one of those things that's interesting that you did it as a part of your Philmont prep. I did not realize that. That's very cool. Kind of killing two birds with one stone there. But yeah, the multi-sport merit badge, again, just for folks that don't know, it's any combination of running, biking, or swimming. You guys did all three. Is that right?
We did. We had a couple of scouts that did a duathlon, which was just, running and biking.
Yep.
But the majority of our scouts had already completed their swimming merit badge, and they were able to do the full triathlon.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that this merit badge is great for scouts who have earned the swimming merit badge, maybe even the cycling, the athletics merit badge, personal fitness. Definitely an active type merit badge, not something you're going to just earn in a classroom, as you can see here from these photos. I think these are these photos of the prep guys practice, or this looks like the actual triathlon, right?
Yeah, I think that is the actual triathlon. This particular one that's up right now is from our practice
Okay.
triathlon when we were completing the you know, I guess the requirements. But we also did another triathlon after this practice one, which was an actual one with other participants that aren't scouts. So,
Right. Yeah. The triathlon is open to the public, so it's not just scouts that are participating, and that makes it kind of cool and interesting. So again, the whole idea of multisport is, as the name implies, it is about multiple sports. A triathlon is swimming, biking, and running. But as we mentioned, there are other options. You can do a duathlon, which is just biking and running. You can do an aquathlon. What do you think? What do you guys think? Aquathlon?
Aquathon, I think.
Aquathlon, who could know how to pronounce that? That's swimming and running. And then I can say this one, aqua bike. That's easy. That's swimming and biking. So there are different combinations, but the idea obviously is to let young people experience these different sports, and at the end, all in the same day. And I think that's what makes multi-sport unique is if you're already an avid runner, for example, you still got to work on your cycling and your swimming. If you're already a swimmer, you got to work on the other two. I think probably safe to say very few people actually do all three of those sports avidly on a regular basis, right? They might be familiar with them. As you guys started off, there's a training requirement that goes with a multi-sport athlete. You don't just show up and do a triathlon. There's actually a specific guide to training. Tiffany, can you talk about that process? Was it a lot? Was it easy? What was your thoughts, and how did the girls handle it?
So I think our scouts handled it really impressively well. So Caroline she's such an amazing leader and planner, and provided like a great calendar for our scouts, like that went with like the merit badge requirements. And so to give them a tool to plan. So we all sat down together and they planned out their training program, each scout for what what they felt they needed to work on most. Like it all included all of the elements, but they customized it for themselves, and we reviewed it. And as the requirements, set out, we talked about it afterwards, and it was great to hear like how they really utilized that training calendar, like, and they've deviated from it, but then they kept track, and everyone was really dedicated over the course of 4 to 6 weeks between when we started the merit badge and the day of the actual triathlon. And I did some training, did enough training to know that I would be able to finish the event with our scouts. Was probably not as dedicated as our awesome scouts were, but we all made it across the finish line, and it was really, really cool. So the training, like that element of it I do think it was a really great component of the merit badge to help keep the scouts focused on their goals and make sure that they know, like what they're leading up to and everything.
Right. I want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor who made the multi-sport merit badge possible. His name is Dave Alexander, a friend of mine, very nice young man, and an avid triathlete himself. He has completed multiple triathlons throughout a long career, in his organization, Tri-Dave Legacy Trust, made this merit badge and pamphlet possible. So shout out to Dave, a good dude overall, very, very ardent supporter of scouting, proud to be associated with him and his organization. What's interesting about a brand new merit badge, when scouts come to you guys and are like, we want to earn the communication merit badge, well, you've probably got a communication counselor somewhere, or we want to earn hiking merit badge, or whatever it ends up being. When there's a brand new merit badge like Multisport, there's no Multisport counselors, at least not from the beginning. So both of you became counselors. I wonder if you could talk about that real quick. Caroline, we'll start with you. What was that process like? I just feel like maybe when a lot of adults hear about a new merit badge, they're like, well, we don't have any counselors. We can't do that. Caroline, your thoughts on that process and what it was like?
Absolutely. So our family had spent a couple of years living in Colorado and in the Longmont Boulder area. And that area has a lot of professional triathletes. Like, it is not uncommon to see, people out riding their bikes in the morning. And I'll just say that at the time when we lived there, I was very tri-curious. I was really interested in doing it. But I participated in my first triathlon when we were there, but I was pregnant at the time, and so I got a team together, and one of us did swimming. That was me, and somebody else did running, and somebody else did biking. And between our powers combined, we were able to, finish the race. And it was a lot of fun. And then coming back here to Texas, I guess around COVID time, 2020, I started running just as a way of mental health and keeping my body fit during that time period, and really found that I enjoyed running. I did my first full triathlon. I say full. It's a sprint distance. It's not that long, but went on my own at that time. And so I had a little bit of experience with triathlon, and then when I saw that Scouting America had come out with this merit badge, I was kind of interested in it and being able to offer it to our scouts. But it wasn't until some of the scouts were kind of interested in a training plan that I was like, well, this could all come together. So I guess I had learned about it through some of the things that Scouting America had done to make it available to members.
Yeah. And Tiffany, did you say that you had participated in a triathlon as well? You have some experience? Oh, I think Tiffany, I think you're muted. You might have muted yourself on your end. Sorry.
I did know. Thank you for the
Sorry.
reminder. I
Yeah, no
appreciate
problem.
that. Yes. So, like similar to Caroline, before we moved back to Texas, my husband and I lived in California, and we regularly were out biking and hiking and just enjoying all of the beautiful nature and everything out there. And I also had just like the idea of competing in a triathlon was something that I just really wanted to do. I was curious about it. I also we did a sprint distance at the time, and so yeah, because swimming and biking are great for me, but running is a challenge for me. So the sprint distance, the 5K was for me personally my limit for what I knew I was like really capable of doing. So I wanted to do that, and so that was back in the fall of 2008, so 17 years ago.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun, and then but yeah, after that
See, I bet that for a lot of folks, at least one of those events would be challenging. I think the swimming would be, for me, the hardest part. So maybe let's talk about the swimming. Did your girls have a lot of experience swimming, and what was it like as you go through the training? So just so everybody knows, for a triathlon, you have to swim, I think it's 100 meters. It's not an extraordinary amount, but it's not an easy amount. And it's certainly, if you're not, prepared, and if you haven't practiced, it can be really, really difficult. Talk about either one of you, Caroline or Tiffany, whoever wants to chime in, talk about the swimming and the practicing and the build-up and the challenges, or if there were any that the girls faced.
So I think Caroline and I are both have swimmer backgrounds, and so I know that was always going to be the favorite event for me. And I know Caroline's an accomplished swimmer as well. We actually had several scouts who who participated in the merit badge, who are competitive swimmers. And so I think the swimming was not everyone, but I think the swimming actually, like, I don't think there was anyone new to swimming for this particular merit badge. We did, like, logistically, it was not possible for all of us to train together, like, on specific days. So we did leave the scouts to train on their own. And like Caroline and I were discussing yesterday, that is, the swimming element in terms of training is going to be the most logistically challenging, because you don't have regular access to a pool. That's a challenge.
Right.
But whereas a lot of people have a bike and everybody's got tennis shoes they can run in, right? So, so we did, luckily we have our community center, at least for the day of our group, practice triathlon that was part of the merit badge requirement. We were able to access the community pool and swim there for our 100 meters. But yeah, it was a little bit of a challenge, I think, for certain scouts to be able to access the pool for training.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Logistically, swimming seems like the one that could be the most challenging. Like you said, anybody can go outside and run. Most folks have a bike or access to a bike, but you can't swim if you don't have access to water. There's nothing you can do about that. So interesting that, and I think the same thing as a former scout leader myself. I'm thinking about the logistics of trying to get everybody. Okay, who's available on this day? Who's available on this day? So interesting that you sort of split it up a little bit and let them go train on their own. That seems very, very smart. So you don't have to necessarily do every single training session with every single person in attendance every single time. That makes a lot of sense. I do want to point out again, one of the options in the multi-sport merit badge is to do the duathlon, which is biking and running. So if swimming isn't in the cards for your troop, that's okay. You can do it with just biking and running. That's no problem at all. I saw those photos. That was your community pool, I guess. There are some folks who can swim in open water. That is an option, but I'm just guessing the community pool logistically worked out best for you guys.
Correct. And then we knew that the triathlon that we all participated in was also in an indoor community pool.
Okay, good. Yeah, so you're practicing in the same environment that the girls would be competing in. Very, very cool. I want to give a quick shout out to Sea Scout Ship 635 from Astoria. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you watching. Yeah, Sea Scouts you guys can do multi-sport as well. That's great. Yeah. Part of the swimming requirements for the multi-sport, you do have to earn the swimming merit badge. Before you do that, you have to explain the components of Scouting America's Safe Swim Defense. You have to learn the difference between swimming in the pool, swimming in open water, all that stuff like that. In some situations, triathletes will wear a wetsuit. I'm just guessing that wasn't an issue for you guys because you were in a swimming pool. So, yep, scratch that need off the list. Perfect. Let's talk about biking. Caroline or Tiffany, were either one of you an avid cyclist going into this? Who was the biking expert?
I can't really say that either of us were experts on biking, but we knew how to ride a bike and had all the safety gear and all the such. We actually had four sessions where we got all the scouts together to work on requirements, and the second one we asked the scouts to bring their bikes and their helmets too, and so you were able to go through their gear and just make sure is your helmet fitting properly, is your bike safe, is all the components working together. And so I think that one was one of my favorite classes that we did because the girls just got to get together and ride their bike, and it was a beautiful day, and they really had a lot of fun with that. But as far as a lot of experience, I'm also a cycling merit badge counselor. Haven't done it with this particular troop. I did it with my son's troop. But going through the merit badges, it's there's a lot of really good information in those merit badge pamphlets for being able to learn how to do those things, even if you're not currently an expert in them. And so I really appreciate that you now have the merit badge booklets available online.
Thank you for plugging that, Caroline. Yes.
Yeah, that's been a nice ad that you guys have made available. But being able to have that information on our phone and easily accessible was really helpful throughout this process.
Yeah, that's a new addition. In case you folks don't know, that every Scouting America merit badge pamphlet is now available online as a free PDF. There's the link right there. Thank you behind the scenes, Brian. That's the link to the Multisport pamphlet. Speaking of not knowing much about triathlon, I was involved in the production of the pamphlet, and I do want to give I didn't know anything. I do want to give a quick shout out to our friends at USA Triathlon who provided us with all of the technical information that we needed, because I didn't know the difference between biking a mile or whatever it was. So they did a great job providing us with that information. We're very, very thankful for their partnership. Yeah, the biking section of the Multisport merit badge pamphlet involves riding predictably, because sometimes you're going to be riding on roads. You don't want to make sudden movements. You need to ride in a way that a person, either on foot or a car, can predict where you're going to go, how to think ahead, ride ready, how to keep your bicycle in good condition, right? How to be safe. Wearing a helmet obviously goes without saying. The third aspect of the triathlon, running, seems like something anybody could do. But again, there's technique to running, and some of that is discussed in the merit badge pamphlet. There's a way to pace yourself. I really liked the way USA Triathlon, the way they described the preparation. You sort of slowly increase your load as you prepare for it. What was that like for the girls? How did they handle the running part? Either one of you who would like to chime in on what that was like, please feel free to do so.
I know that we had some girls who, as Caroline mentioned, participate in athletics. And so actually for them, running is an everyday occurrence for them. So that was it was a built-in part of their training. And then other scouts had they were really dedicated and carved out time for it, making time after school or in the evenings after activities to run. And it looked like, when we looked at their training plans, everyone started off like with shorter distances and then gradually increased throughout the 4 to 6 weeks that we were training for the merit badge. So yeah, they were really, really thoughtful about it. They definitely took in all of the information that we discussed with them and that was available in the pamphlet in terms of, how to train properly and consistently, and to build up toward this goal. So it really did seem to work, I think.
Yeah, that's great. Shout out to, we have a Sea Scout volunteer watching. Love to see the Sea Scouts in the house today. Christine from Ship 1610 in Hampton, Virginia. She says that she loves that the merit badge books are online, very convenient. Shout out to a viewer from Puerto Rico, Nidia from Troop 1777. Good to see you. Thank you very much. Christine says nice photos. Yeah, some of those photos were submitted by our friends here. Other ones were taken by our professional photographer in the house. You probably can't tell the difference because the ones that were submitted by Troop 848 are so good. So thank you guys for giving us those photos. We appreciate that. Yeah, the running, there's steps in our information in the merit badge pamphlet about warming up, cooling down, staying, stretching and things like that. Exercises you can do to be more efficient with your running. Much like swimming, it is a way. There are ways to run, techniques to do it more efficiently, to where you cover more space without exhausting yourself. That's my problem with swimming, is that I don't know the technique. I just get exhausted. So if I were to ever try to earn the Multisport merit badge pamphlet, maybe we need to take some swimming lessons or something like that. There's an aspect of Multisport, what really makes it unique, because again, a lot of folks have run before, a lot of folks have gone swimming, a lot of folks on bikes. What makes it unique is the multi part, right? Doing it all in one day. And one thing that, again, shout out to our friend Dave Alexander, an accomplished triathlete himself. One thing he always said to me was that there's actually a fourth event called the transition, when you transition between one event to the other. And in a competitive triathlon, you can waste precious seconds going from one event to the other. Is that the transition? Is that something that you guys practiced in advance? I want to make sure I get the order. So it's swimming, biking, and running. So you start in the pool, you got to get out of the pool, then you got to go get on a bike. But you don't want to get on a bike necessarily soaking wet with your swimsuit on or anything like that. Talk to me about that transition and how you guys practiced that and how they did.
Yeah. Do you want to go, Caroline, or?
I'll let you go.
Okay. Well, I say that the fact that the short distance triathlon, that's, I think, it's like requirement 7, that provided us, especially because we knew we were all going to, or almost everyone was going to compete in the official publicly available triathlon. That was the perfect opportunity for us to teach the scouts about transition. Caroline and I, scouted out our public parks. So the community center where we did the swim part is part of a public park system where we were able to do the bike and the run. And so she and I paced out, found the route that matched the distances. And we decided, we really want to have them experience a real as possible transition type of experience. And so we found bike racks and an area where in between the pool and where we were going to bike and run, to have the kids set up their stuff, show them how to set it up in a way that made it easy for them to transition, gave them tips. And then we also had, because we knew having participated in triathlons previously, we knew that, there's going to be an area where you have to walk your bike and you can't get on or off your bike outside of this area. So we had marked it with chalk. And so we did our best to really give the Scouts the real experience in our homemade triathlon for requirement 7. And then I think that was helpful for them to then take that into the real one that we did, which is part of requirement 8.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. You don't really think about that, but you mentioned having your gear organized, right? That's an important part of it. You could waste precious seconds if you're competing, trying to wear my darn shoes. That's important to have everything organized. By the way, Cynthia in the comments says they enjoyed teaching this merit badge. Cynthia, tell us about your experience and what it was like. I want to know more. Yeah, it seems like, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like transitioning from swimming to biking is probably the most challenging part. Biking to running, am I wrong? Is that a little bit simpler, or am I wrong? Caroline, what do you think?
Well, I think it all depends on the shoes. For my particular experience, I was wearing cycling shoes that aren't really made for triathlon. They're made for cycling, and so it has the little metal clip on the bottom,
right. Yep.
Which is not very conducive to running. And so, being able to get off of your bike and take it all the way in and change, all of the gear out, get a little something to eat for some extra energy, get some extra, electrolytes and water. There is a lot going on, but I think it's all doable, and the girls seem to really enjoy it, and being able to kind of connect with their support system, in between. The adults weren't able to come into the transition area with them, but they kind of stood on the perimeter and were shouting encouragement over the fence and just saying, "You got this! It's going to be so much fun." And just seeing the Scouts just do it all with a smile on their face. It's just really, really fun to see them being able to turn all of this effort that they've made in the weeks leading up to this into the race day fun. So
awesome. Yeah. And so again, to be clear, you don't have to compete in an actual triathlon. Requirement 7 is simply that you complete all the activities, swim, bike, and run in the same day and consecutively. You can do that on your own. This Scout troop, because they're overachievers, also completed requirement. Let's see, it's 8D, which is sign up for and participate in a sanctioned multi-sport event. Tell me what that was like. Tiffany, how'd the girls do? I mean, again, there's no requirement that says you have to win. There's no requirement that says you have to finish within a specific time or anything like that. You just have to participate. How was it, Tiffany? And how bad did you just beat all the other athletes?
Oh no, I came in dead last in my group, but that was okay. My goal was to finish in good shape, and
absolutely,
I personally feel like I met that goal, so I was very, very pleased. I was so impressed with our Scouts, and it was really cool because we had 2 age groups. We had some younger Scouts participating and some older Scouts participating. And so the triathlon that we participated in had 2 events. They had one for our younger Scouts, which was shorter distances, and one the full sprint distance that our older Scouts and Caroline and I participated in. And yeah, and you could see, we knew, I think going in, each Scout kind of had their strongest event and one where they were struggling a little bit more, but they all were just so determined, and it was so impressive to watch them do this challenging thing. And we had our wonderful adults and so the Scouts and adults who were participating in the full event on Sunday were all there on Saturday to cheer on the younger Scouts in the kids triathlon. And then likewise, we had some participants from the Saturday come cheer us on Sunday. And yeah, it was just everyone did the very best they could. Some of our kids finished towards the front of the pack, and some finished in the back with me.
Yeah,
but awesome. It was all, everyone gave their all. Everyone still felt okay when they were finished. So we trained, we did what we set out to do, and yeah, it was great.
Great. Yeah, it must have been a positive experience, which is really what it's all about. the Cub Scout motto is "Do your best," but I kind of think that applies. I'm going to keep saying "Do your best" as long as I can. That's really what it's all about. Again, you don't actually have to compete in a sanctioned multisport. You can also volunteer at a multisport event to fulfill that final requirement. There's other things you can do. You can research and identify ways you can continue participating in multi-sport events. Again, shout out to our friend Dave Alexander, who has competed in triathlons all over the world. And whenever he and I talk, he always uses the term finished. Because I think, Tiffany, that was his goal. I'm just going to finish. And he has finished, I think it's 100 or something like that. He doesn't talk about winning. He talks about finishing, which is really, really cool and a great attitude to have. This has been a great discussion. Again, the Multisport Merit Badge. It was the latest Scouting America Merit Badge for several months. And then we introduced a couple of more scouting, cybersecurity and artificial intelligence, but it's still relatively young. We encourage everybody to get involved in multisport. Give it a shot. Let us know how you like it. A shout out to Troop 848. Right down the road from us in Coppell, Texas, and Tiffany and Caroline. Thank you so much for joining us today. This has been a great conversation. Any final thoughts before we let you guys go? Anything that we haven't talked about that you want people to know about your experience earning the Multisport Merit Badge?
Just how proud we are of all of our scouts, and just seeing them growing through this process and having fun with each other, trying something new. Several of the girls, at the end, they said, "I want to do another one." Some other scouts are like, "Nope, one and done is perfectly fine." And, it's just really neat to see how through this merit badge process, you have the opportunity to gain new skills, try things you haven't done before, and it's just more opportunities for our scouts. I also want to throw in that we had a lot of support. The company that sponsored us, like who put on the event, they actually gave our scouts free entry into the race, and so they
Cool.
had their insurance for the day. So that made it very accessible for our scouts to be able to try something new and do that. So big
That's
thank
great.
you to Dallas Athletes Racing.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great tip right there. I encourage everybody to reach out to organizations like that in your community. There are organizations out there whose goal is to get kids active, and they would love to help your scouts participate in events like this. Yeah, I'd love to hear that some of the girls thought they might participate in future triathlons. The whole purpose of the Merit Badge program is to hopefully give kids an idea of a hobby or something they never tried before, and maybe it becomes a lifetime passion. Hey, maybe they never do it again. Either one is fine. The important thing is that they do it. There's the link right there. Thank you, Brian, to go learn more about the Multisport Merit Badge. If you're a Scouts BSA leader and you're thinking, I don't know if this is for me, it's designed to where anybody can do it. Again, you don't have to finish in first place. There's no minimum time that you have to complete it in. You don't have to be, it happens that Caroline and Tiffany are athletes, but you don't have to be an athlete.
That's generous for me.
Quotation marks, yeah. No, but you don't have to be a triathlete to counsel the Multisport Merit Badge. Thank you again, Tiffany and Caroline, for joining us. We appreciate it very much. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks to all of you for watching at home. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Have a good afternoon, everybody. Bye, Caroline. Bye, Tiffany.
All right. Bye.